People, welcome to episode 1 of Gather in Nature, a new show here on JCTV that I am super excited to be sharing with you every Thursday. We're going to be discussing plants, their purposes. We're going to be going on to discussing things that you can make with them and also the medicinal sides of plants. So what plants you can use for headaches and stuff like that in future shows. You've got us for a very long time. Today we are going to be discussing about a plant that we all know. We don't necessarily all love, but we definitely all know it. So I think I'm going to go over to sunny Scotland now to see my partner in plants, the amazing medical herbalist, Natasha Lloyd, everybody.
Hi, it's Natasha here from Scotland, down by the river again, and we're going to look at some dandelion, Taraxacum officinale. The leaves and the roots are used and the flower. This one's not in flower. It's gone over at this time of year. It's still looking pretty distinctive as a dandelion. You see those lion's teeth? Hello, Cammy. And that's Dent de Leon. It's very distinctive. There are over 10,000 different species of dandelion. There's probably more to be discovered. There was one discovered in St Kilda a few years ago, which was a unique species. And I find that really exciting that we're still finding things and still lots to discover, even in the world that's very familiar to us. So yeah, let's discuss dandelion, Jaden.
Just to let you know that even in the sunny mountains of Chiapas, look what I found. That beautiful bright yellow head like the sun. Those teeth, those lion's teeth and that lance type leaf. Absolutely amazing. And then this one, which I'm so tempted to blow. But anyway. So, Nat, I think we're going to talk about dandelions. What do you think? Dandelion, everybody. Actually, one of my favourite little plants now, to be honest with you. I do get very excited when I see it. Let's go and team up with Natasha Lloyd for a little bit of a chat, shall we? Hello, lovely lady.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you doing? You all going well?
Doing really well, thank you.
Nice to see you back in the warm after your dandelion hunt.
Yeah. Oh, it's been nothing but warm here.
I know, I've heard, mate. You're probably about 15, 20 degrees warmer than me in the mountains in Mexico at the moment. I'm about in the mid-20s and about 15, 16 at night, which is actually fucking perfect weather for the dandelion, quite frankly. They are lovely. They are the amount of water we're getting is off the charts. We're in rainy season, so they are spreading like German measles, mate. It's absolutely wonderful. I do find it really, really interesting that obviously we know that a weed is a misplaced plant, misplaced flower, you know. And my friend of mine, when I first came to this region, is like, I've got to show you this flower. I've got to show you this flower. It's happening. I've never seen it anywhere before. It's so wonderful. Hello, doggy. It's so wonderful. See, even doggy's joining. What's doggy's name?
This is Yarrow.
Yarrow. Oh, he's even got a name of that plant as well.
I know, I resisted naming my dogs for years after plants. I'm just going to go and put them in the bedroom while we're recording. So
oh, they're okay.
They're okay?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. So my friend brought me out and said, I've got to show you this plant. It grows everywhere. It's so beautiful. And we was walking through the city, like up in the mountains, and I said, where is this plant then? I said, I don't see any. And he's like, they're everywhere, look. And he went, there's one there. And I went, that's a dandelion, mate. We get rid of them in England. I never did, actually. I bloody love them. They're beautiful. But yeah, so how amazing that people completely discard this plant, but phenomenally beneficial to our lives, right? And the ecosystem, of course.
Yeah. So many pollinators visit a dandelion, eh?
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit about it, because obviously, you know, us ignorant folk, you know, we're like, it's a dandelion. What's so important? I mean that.
Where do you begin? I mean, the leaf is a mild diuretic. But what is beautiful about that, so that comes from the old name pissenlit, so to wet the bed, because if you do it later in the day, then you end up the danger of not quite getting to the toilet in time. It's obviously most adults are not doing that in the same way.
Yeah.
But it also, as well as being a diuretic, it has a lot of potassium in the leaf.
Okay.
So if you go for an orthodox diuretic from your GP, they ask that you eat a couple of bananas a day to up your potassium levels. But you don't need to do that with dandelion. It's already in the leaf. It's giving you the extra potassium already, which is fantastic. It's all so well rounded.
I guess the sense as well that, you know, potassium is also quite important in our sleeping regime, right? So when I get very tired, if I can't sleep, I'll go and have a banana, and normally I kind of start to drift off after having a banana. But I guess as well, another reason why you'd probably wet the bed is because of the potassium in the leaf. You'd probably have a really lovely night's sleep and let everything go, literally.
Such a deep sleep.
Yeah, didn't wake up for it until it happened. So, because you can use every single part of the dandelion. I mean, every single part has a purpose, right?
It does. So if we work from, I don't know so much about the root. Oh, yes, I do. Sorry, that's a ridiculous notion. The root is used a huge amount in terms of, it used to be used post-war as a coffee substitute.
I heard that, yeah.
So if you roast it, it does taste like coffee, but if you roast it gently, it can have chocolate and caramel notes to it as well as the coffee.
How would you, you'll just literally pull it up from the root, chop off all the leaves, wash it, and put it in the oven?
Yeah, gently. You want to make it even. I normally do them in one when I'm just eating them, but if I was doing it for, say, a chutney, then I would chop it up so that it's even pieces, so that you're getting an even roast.
Right.
Because it's a tapered root, isn't it? So yeah. Yeah, really delicious.
Wow, I didn't know that at all. And any medicinal properties in this?
Yes, the root is used for moving the bile through the liver, therefore improving the function of the liver.
Okay.
It also can help if during the menopause and perimenopause, because all the hormones are going through the liver and it needs a little bit of extra help. It helps move that through as well, and moves all the hormones.
Vitamin rich, mineral rich, or not?
More mineral than vitamin rich. In the root, the leaf has more vitamins than minerals.
Okay.
So it's such a well-rounded plant. The minerals in the root, vitamins in the leaf. You know, essentially kidneys with the leaf and then liver with the root. Also, there's been a study done at the University of Windsor in Ontario looking at the root for leukemia on human studies. Yeah. I need to do an update on that and see where that's at.
We need to talk about that in a future show then, I think. And what about the flower? Obviously, beautiful, so recognisable because this beautiful head of gold just peering out of you between your paving slabs in your lovely tended lawn. Going, I'm here and I'm shining brightly.
But it is the one from the sun, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get onto the other aspects of it in a minute. I need to just quickly mention the root contains inulin, which is a prebiotic to probiotics that helps the gut flora as well. I think that's a very important aspect for it. The flower, there's so much you can do. Not so many medicinal benefits, but really good for making a country wine. You can make a dandelion honey, a vegan honey from it.
Wow, okay.
You can do dandelion flower fritters.
Really?
Yeah. Nice tempura batter.
Wow, okay. And can you eat any of the parts of the dandelion? Can you eat them raw, like literally out of the garden?
Yes, you can, but not the stalk. The stalk is the only bit that you can't use to eat.
On any level, cooked or uncooked?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Right,
not
so
to be eaten.
The leaves, the roots and the flower, but put that stalk in your composting.
Or make a basket from it.
Or make it really... Mate, you're challenging me with bloody chutneys, to be fair. Hand making a dandelion basket, I think I'm a couple of years off of that level, to be fair.
I haven't done it yet either.
Okay. Maybe we'll go offline and we'll make an attempt halfway down the line. We'll see what we can come up with.
Do a show and tell later.
Yeah, try this at home. Mine will just be an absolute state, mate. I'm so not creative that way. So you can make fritters. Can you eat the flower raw? Like in, because I know with things like pansies and stuff like that, you can eat the flower raw in salads and stuff. Can you decorate salads with dandelion flower or not?
You can. For some people, if you don't like bitter, then you make sure that you take off the green bits at the bottom.
Okay.
All the petals can be used.
Okay. Wow. Amazing. That is so cool. I have a couple of dandelions and I am planning on making a salad today, so I might even attempt.
Yeah.
I actually found out just going offline, but I was very quite excited because I grow a lot of fuchsia here and I didn't realise that you can eat all the berries of fuchsia.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I hope you can because I've been eating them. But yeah, and they're kind of like a mild cherry flavoured. So I'm kind of excited by the natural elements that I can add to my dishes. So it's super cool. So you said about like making chutneys and stuff like that. Is this a complicated thing?
To make a chutney, no. It's no different than making a sauce, like
Really?
a white sauce. Yeah, really simple.
Okay.
So, bit of oil, heat up in the pan, chop up your onion, get that going to translucent. You don't really want to put any colour on that onion.
Okay.
Medium heat. And then your fruit, whatever you're putting in the chutney, you put in. Then you let that sit for a while. Then your vinegar, your salt, your sugar, let it sit, dampen down, and then add a bit of water if you need to. Keep it stirred. It'll come to a point where you see it's all coming together. That's it.
That's it. And
That's it.
when you say the fruit, that would also be the dandelion petals as well. If you were going
Yes. So if we were doing an apple and dandelion petal, I want to do the root. I can't help but use the root. I just love that flavour. So a couple of apples, one onion, couple of apples, and maybe 3 roots that have been roasted, put in there. Let that sit for a while. Let all the flavours meld together.
When you say sit in there cooking or sitting there just sitting there?
Oh, sitting there cooking.
Okay.
And
So
then
keep
we're
that
chopping
low heat for a little bit.
low heat until it all starts to come together. You'll see it. It all starts to just suddenly.
Like almost.
Yeah, it's exactly a bit like jam. And then after that, you want it to sit in the jar before you put the lid on so you don't get any condensation.
Okay.
And then for chutney, ideally, you want to leave it for 2 or 3 months before you eat it.
Okay.
It never lasts that long in my house.
No, imagine, mate. It'll be on a bloody bread roll before you could bloody get it out of the fridge, to be fair. So, yeah, I'm very excited about trying. Okay, I might have to test my patience and do that. So, when did you what got you interested in kind of dandelions and its properties? How did you find out all this information?
When did I first look at dandelion? A long time ago. It was really the degree course that got me really thinking about its medicinal properties.
Okay. So the dandelion root, just to clarify, full of minerals, great to be roasted, can taste like almost caramelly chocolatey. If roasted harder and longer, can be a substitute for coffee, which I've actually heard that here as well. Actually, they do that here in Chiapas in Mexico. The leaves, can you use the leaves in a salad like a rocket? Or
Yes.
you can, so you can eat them straight from the plant almost.
So you want to get the leaves when they're young, ideally before it flowers. They're sweeter then. Once it puts all the energy into flower, they become more bitter. But for some people, they like that bitter flavour.
Okay.
But yeah, just like rocket.
And what else can you use the leaves for?
As a tea or a tincture, as a medicine.
Okay. Can you use it as like a vegetable green? Would you boil them and use them like with your cabbage and your potatoes and stuff, or?
You can do. Yeah, there's no harm in that.
Okay, bloody amazing. Fantastic. So in your book, Forage Condiments, is there anything mentioned about the dandelion?
Yes. So the recipe that I really enjoy out of there is the pear and dandelion root chutney.
That does sound really nice, actually.
It is. It's delicious.
Your book. I'm so on that, I tell you. So that's amazing. So roots, leaves full of vitamins. Absolutely amazing. And you can eat them straight from the plant, preferably when they're young, before the flower, because obviously they're going to be sweeter and more kind of, I don't know. Do they taste kind of rockety? Is that
No,
do they have its own flavour? Like rocket is a very, it's a very special flavored leaf. It's one of my favorite. They call it arugula here, but so it has a very distinct flavor. Does dandelion have a very distinct flavor, or is it very just kind of quite
No,
mild?
it's not got. It's kind of mild and greeny, but with a slight bitter edge when it's young, with a sweetness, and then the bitter edge gets increased as the plant gets older.
Okay, but full of vitamins, so still very useful.
Yeah,
But
really
not
useful.
too many, because otherwise you will be weeing yourself pretty much constantly.
Yeah, you don't, and you want to do it earlier part of the day than the latter part of the day.
Okay, right. So yeah, breakfast and lunch. Brunch would be perfect. And so the petals, you can use them to decorate salads. You can use them in chutneys. What about any drinks, any cocktails, anything like that? Would you drink anything apart from the tea of the leaves and possibly the coffee of the root? Are there any beverages that might contain the flower?
The wine,
Oh, dandelion wine, yes. I've never
I would
tried.
make it that way. I'm just thinking about for cocktails when I do the wild cocktail workshops. I've made a few things in the past that were sort of an alcoholic, a bit like Kahlua,
Okay,
and that's quite delicious.
okay, and that contains dandelion.
Dandelion root, yeah. So roasted dandelion root to give the coffee, and then
Wow,
sort of
okay,
aspects to
but not the
make.
flower. So the flower is kind of limited to chutneys and garnishing pretty salad, no? Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that, and the dandelion honey.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, amazing. That does sound amazing. So people at home, you can also find out a few, because you've got recipes in your book as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can go and get your book for some more information. Or if you want, you need a bit more information from Natasha, you can fill in the comment section underneath this video and ask away. If there is enough questions, we'll even get back together again and do a Q&A session to answer you personally. That would be not. If not, I'm sure Natasha or I will be able to get back to you on the comment section of this video. Now, I know you told me I had to do my homework.
Did you do it?
I did. I did, Miss Lloyd. I did. So it's going to be a little bit sporadic, but I did do my homework. And so I know that a dandelion root is meant to enhance psychic abilities, which obviously enables you to connect better with your kind of the spiritual side of your being. You can also, if you're having tea of dandelion root, that can also enhance your spiritual journey and a purpose for healing. So there you go. You can also use the seeds just to recapture your childlike wonder. So you can be spreading seeds. That'd be lovely. Dandelion can be used in emotional healing. It allows for the clearing of the body's emotions. I guess the way it is a diuretic and kind of helps purify liver and kidneys as well. I guess it will do that on an emotional level. Clears away anger and fear that we store in our liver and kidneys. Seeing the link? Are you seeing the link? Miss
Yes.
Scientists to the supernatural. So dandelion is also, because obviously it's a beautiful chakra looking flower. It's associated with the solar plexus, and the solar plexus is the energy distribution center for the whole of the chakras of relationships. So, which is kind of just between your rib cage and your belly button, which also controls your digestive system and your immune system. So again, bloody wonderful. So when you have the chakra in balance, it gives you physical strength to fight off infections and to be free of allergic reactions as well, and to use the nutrients that you digest. So amazing. Spiritually, you'll be free to interpret the world in your own thoughts and emotions and not live in fear of other decisions. So when it's out of balance, you feel physically low, and so you're more tolerant. You're more kind of easy to pick up infections and allergies and stuff like that. And obviously, spiritually, you have more fear and anger, and you contain more things. But dandelion can help you with that. So obviously, the dandelion color is yellow. Yellow is the color of happiness. It's the color of energy. It's the color of optimism. It's also a wonderful color for letting things get on a color therapy, for letting things get organized in your mind. The color yellow helps us be more alert and aware. It's also significant of the coming sun that brings warmth in the early summer days after, a particularly possibly shitty winter and wet spring. It's symbol of hope. It's symbol of enlightenment, symbol of knowledge. It's a symbol of the summer solstice, of warm temperatures and sustained vigour as well. A little bit more. Dandelion is associated with the Morrigan. The Morrigan is the Great Queen, but also the Phantom Queen. She's described as the consort of the Irish god Dagda. She specialises in binding magic and is often depicted as a crow. She's a shapeshifter not a sifter. She doesn't use a sift. She shifts and can assist us in making important decisions. So Dandelion is also associated with the goddess Aphrodite because of her connection with bees, the pollinator. And it's also associated with Hecate due to the plants that are associated with the underworld. So dandelions are mostly associated with the sun, happiness, lions, resilience, healing. The root is a tonic to the liver, aids in the purification of the body, and is linked to the elements of fire and earth, as well as the planets of Jupiter and the sun. My spiritual lesson here endeth.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. I'm going to put all that information as well in the bio of this particular episode, so you have all of that stuff as well. And like I said, if you want to know more about dandelions and its phenomenal properties, then you can go and speak to Natasha herself. You can put a comment in the comment section and Natasha or I will answer. If there are enough questions in that comment section, then we'll get back together again and do a Q&A on the dandelion if you have stuff you want to know. Is that good for you, Miss?
Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to add about the dandelion?
Don't think so. I think we covered a lot there.
Done quite a bit. I just want to say, go and pick them, but don't get them all. So pick them if you're going to use them, but don't pick them all. Don't get rid of them for your garden, because bees and butterflies and other pollinators, it is essential food for them and essential for the garden. They're such an important part of that ecosystem. So go and pick the ones you need to use and leave the others to be used the way nature intends them for now. Don't get rid of them out of your garden. Or maybe what I would do, because I'm kind of like this, if I'm thinking, right, I really don't want a dandelion in my middle of my lawn, but what I might do on my drive is get a nice big pot and fill that pot with dandelions. That's what I would do. Relocate rather than get rid.
Yeah, they still deserve a life, don't they?
They do. And they're bloody beautiful as well, to be fair. I didn't realise that until my friend went, look at this flower, it's absolutely amazing. I didn't ever see it as a flower before. So I was like, yeah, it really is. I've got loads in my garden now, as well as other, amazing pollinating plants. And they're just amazing. Like the butterflies, it's just like living in a bloody butterfly house. It's absolutely incredible. So, Natasha, thank you so much for your information with regards to the dandelion. I'm already excited for next week's episode. We'll keep people in the dark until a little bit before, I feel. Then we'll start to advertise it next week and they can know what plant is going to be our topic of conversation next week on Gathering Nature.
So good. Always such good fun to have a chat with you.
You too, Matt. And just so you people at home know, you can find the links of where you can buy Natasha's book, Foraged Condiments, on, I think it's Barnes & Noble, Waterstones, Amazon. All the links are in the bio of this particular show. Go and get them some amazing recipes, some beautiful illustrations, some great information. And Natasha and I will see you next week on Gathering Nature. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed Natasha and I's show, Gathering Nature. Don't forget, you can find where to contact her on all of her social media presences in the description of this video. You can also go and buy her book, which has some, like I said, amazing illustrations, amazing information with regarding plants, etc., on all good book buy-in sites, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Waterstones. It's all there. You'll find the links for that as well in every episode of this show. Thank you so much for joining Natasha and I. We are already excited to be seeing you next week for episode 2. OMG, what plant will they be discussing? What addition to your culinary expertise will you have information of this time next week? You can have to wait and see. I'll see you next week. Stay care, stay beautiful. And remember, weeds are just misplaced flowers. See you later.